You know, Wadsworth looked like they were having a great time out there, but looking ahead to week 5, that Stowe Wadsworth game, if you like quarterbacks, you know, you definitely want to try to catch this game between Joey Boffman and Corian. You know, these guys know how to be able to move in the pocket, and they can throw the football, and they can also move as well. So it should be a great game to watch there.
Multi-sport athletes. Corian Rice plays basketball. Joey Boffman, I've seen him on the wrestling mat and would want no part of that young man on the wrestling mat. He's headed to Virginia as a wrestling recruit, University of Virginia. So that tells you he's getting it done in the classroom as well.
Yeah, I mentioned that running clock game, but those two teams had a barn burner a couple years ago too that went into overtime. So I mean, this could, I believe that game was in Wadsworth. So I mean, this could be another.
And you know what?
Coming up.
You kind of sense Coach Justin Todd doing a great job. Those players really, really enjoy playing for him. And that's usually the first step towards getting them to buy in and getting that program turned around. Only the second year, and they're 4-0. Well, the hardest working man in TV is Jeff Sabo. He has post-game from the Solon win over Elyria. Jeff, take it away.
All right, JT Caver, your offense started off a little bit slow, but what really helped you guys get some momentum in that late in the second quarter?
I just talked to the O-line, told them we were going to score on that play, and that's what we did. And our receiver, Trey, he made a great play. That was all him. I just threw it 5 yards, and he made a great play, made a guy miss, and took it to the house.
And it really seems like that the two of you have really connected pretty well. You and Trayvon Raphael have done pretty well as a team on offense so far this year.
Yeah, we have. We connected on a lot of plays.
And then, obviously, big victory here tonight. You know, what really kind of helped you guys get pumped up for the third quarter?
Well, we just continued to play harder on defense. We had to play more physical, which we did. And then those block punts made us it gave us a little momentum, made us play harder. And we just built off that momentum with the block punts.
All right, and what do you guys have to do next week against Strongsville?
We just got to work harder. We got to work a lot harder. Because that first half effort, that's not good enough. So we got to get better in the first half, come out stronger instead of just being a second half team, which we've seen a lot of, but we need to come out strong and hit the team first.
All right, thanks, JT.
Thank you.
All right, Zion, you played a very tough Elyria Pioneers team. What really made you guys believe in yourselves towards the end?
You know, we came out a little slow. We knew that we had to fix some things, came into the locker room, it was still 13-3, I believe. But we made some adjustments. Third quarter still went a little slow, but we got a few explosive plays coming through in the end of the game, a few pump blocks, defensive stops, a lot of defensive stops in the game, and our defense really came around and held them for us. And our offense started kicking into gear in the fourth quarter there. We just need to explode earlier in the game.
And then also, you had some key sacks in that one. In this game, what really helped you get through their offensive line?
We were running a read play, so when they had when they would move that guard, it was just straight through. I was quick right through, and I was right there.
And then also, you're the leading tackler for this Solon team. What's really kind of helped you succeed this season?
I'm just trying my best. I'm flying around the field. I'm trying to be in at every play.
All right, thanks, Ian.
No problem.
All right, Coach McQuaid, you guys started off slow, but my goodness, the defense really stepped up in the first half and then also the second half. You guys had some lucky breaks.
Well, we had some real breaks. Give them a ton of credit. They played really well in the first half, and they did a good job. We think they're a much better team than their record indicates. This has always been a tough place to play. The first half was a good example of that.
Now, also, what really helped you guys gain some momentum in the second half? Elyria did turn the ball over quite a few times.
I don't know if we had much momentum at all. We had some plays there at the end that helped us out, but we got to do a better job of trying to make our own momentum.
And then what do you guys have to do going into the game against Strongsville next week?
Well, we're going to enjoy tonight. We will always enjoy winning, and I'm sure we have a lot to do tomorrow morning.
Well, and you see the final, 33-6, as Comets score 20 unanswered points in the second half. Jeff Sabo joins us on the phone. Jeff, how'd they get it done in the second half?
Well, what really contributed to their success was actually the special teams. Elyria was pinned down deep in their own territory and many, many times throughout the third and fourth quarters. And then there was the one instance in which they had a fumbled snap. Jack Miller pounced on it for a touchdown. Then I want to say it was the next time that Elyria had the ball, another fumbled snap in the end zone. Nick Close ended up jumping on that one for another touchdown. And then towards the end, Thomas Wilkes, going from 27 yards out, he really added pretty much he sealed the deal for the Comets right then and there. So it was kind of some lucky breaks that the Comets had, and also Thomas Wilkes. You were asking about him before. Pretty quiet in the first half, but he ended up getting the job and made an impact very late in the game.
Well, it doesn't take much for Wilkes to, you give him a little bit, he gets through the hole, and you don't want to be chasing Thomas Wilkes because not too many people will catch him. Hey, what about the defense? They hold Elyria scoreless in that second half. What jumped out about the defense, Jeff?
They were really able to get a lot of penetration through that Elyria offensive line. It seemed like that they were blitzing a lot more. Whenever Elyria tried to throw down deep, there was usually a lot of white shirts and blue helmets in the backfield waiting to sack either Arno or Beckett, as they did put Beckett in for a few series. And I think it was just a lot of that penetration that the Solon defensive line and that linebacking core was able to get through.
All right, Jeff Sabo, we appreciate all the work. Great job, as we heard from a number of Solon Comets. And, that's one of the things. If you're in a tight game, special teams often can make the difference. And clearly, a couple of fumble recoveries, mishandled snaps, those are the type of things good teams find a way to do.
And those are always the things you can tell Coach McQuaid emphasizes, because it always seems like there is a special teams play or a big defensive turnover or something, those sudden change plays that, all of a sudden you've scored, you've gotten a lead. So their offense is struggling, but they managed to put up 33 points because they get some special teams plays, they get some defensive plays. You got to figure out a way to get points on the board.
And in the first couple of weeks, we talked about running back Thomas Wilkes and the impact that he was making for the Comets offense. But, something that I circled here on one of my keys is that someone else needs to be able to show up and be able to put some points on the board. And obviously, sounds like their special teams was able to do that this evening. So hats off to the Solon Comets moving ahead to play Strongsville now.
I'm sure the challenge for the Comets is to find some sort of consistency in the quarterback play, because you alternate, and the reason I think they're probably alternating it is nobody has taken the job. You don't really necessarily want to do that, but somebody's got to give you some consistency in the things that you want to see from them.
We talked about the quarterbacks this evening of Jared Pelota down in Jackson. I mean, Solon, for those who don't know, Solon plays in this same region with these teams. And so if they don't have their quarterback situation together by then, they may find themselves getting bounced soon. So, Solon's going to have something to think about over the weekend. Obviously, they're going to celebrate this win, but they got to get ready for Strongsville. And, Strongsville also has their quarterback situation in order, too.
Tell you what, that defense, though, might be really good.
Oh, absolutely.
That defense really is playing well.
And you could see Coach McQuaid wasn't real happy, and again, it's not that he didn't, he thought Elyria was a really good football team. You could just tell he didn't like some of the things that he saw.
Yeah, with Elyria, it's tough for them. I mean, they're 0-4, but there's not a bad loss in this list. I mean, you lose to Solon, you lose to Lorraine, Bedford, Avon Lake. There's not a team on that list that's below 500. So, Coach McQuaid looks at that team and says they're better than their record. I think he's right. And, it's good that he had his guys kind of prepared, kind of ready to go out there and play. But, Solon is still kind of working through some things, I think. But they have some time. We're not even at the halfway point of the season.
Plenty of time. They just, I think there's some things that he's probably trying to work through is a good way to put it. And if you're Elyria, Sean Arnaud is first-year head coach, and, you're going into week 5, and it's not what you want, obviously.
And you got Euclid waiting for you. So it doesn't get easier. This is going to be a challenge for Coach Arnaud, because he's going to lose some games. I mean, he's going to lose more games. They're not going to go 0-10. They're going to win some games too.
Right.
But he's going to have to keep his guys engaged. He's going to have to keep his guys believing. And we're getting something going here. We're building something. And maybe the wins aren't showing up yet. But listen to what Coach McQuaid said. He thinks you're better than your record. It's going to be a challenge for him, but this is a good team that's going to find a way to win games before this season's over.
One of the things that I was looking at when it came to Elyria tonight against Solon, I said to myself that they need to make some stops. They need to find a way to do that. And obviously with Solon taking this win here, something fell apart in that. And so I think, you know, I'm gonna just drag that key over to next week. Like, they've got to be able to find a way, and especially when the momentum and your emotion is going down after 4 straight losses. I'm really curious to see how they're going to respond in week 5 now. But yeah, it's tough.
That's got to be frustrating because it sounds like their defense actually played pretty well. You know, they held Solon 13 points in the half, and a couple of special teams plays added to those 20 points. So that's, again, you're right. It's very tough. It's tough to keep, you know, you got to keep dragging people and keep them believing, you know. And I think Coach McQuaid's right. You know, I saw that team play. They had some big plays against them last week that added, you know. And again, it was a couple of bad snaps. It's a fumble recovery, and it's a big pass play. And, you know, all of a sudden a 7-point game is a 21-point game.
And I'm actually going to ask an early question now, but just because of the play of Solon right now and how they're kind of undecided right now or what they're doing with their quarterback situation, do you see them as a conference title winner again this year? Or is there someone else that might be taking that?
They're going to be in the mix. It'll be Menor, Euclid, and Solon. They'll all be in the mix.
Yeah, I mean,
because the one thing, defense travels, and they've got a really good defense.
And you look at that game last week against Stowe. They had the lead late in that game, and you know, a credit to Stowe. They just kept running at Solon, and they finally broke through. But it was, I mean, that game turned into 3 and out. It was a field position battle, and Solon's not afraid to play that way. I mean, this conference is probably going to be decided. You got October 6th, Solon and Euclid. October 13th, Solon and Menor. I mean, those 2 weeks are probably going to really kind of decide this conference.
We're going to step aside and take a quick time out as week 4 in high school football across the Buckeye State is wrapping up. We still have our top plays. Dan's been calling for a number of them. And we'll also take a look at some final scores. You're watching Friday Night Huddle here on Spectrum Sports and cleveland.com.
This is it. Your big break. Your one shot. Your only chance. There are 2 outcomes. Make history or be history.
The home of high school sports. Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. This city, this club, stands with you.
Danger from Mira! Awesome!
What you live for lives here.
The volley, Kamara, yes!
Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Lives here. We are Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
Wednesday nights, get ready for kickoff with Spectrum Sports. High School Blitz Preview. the can't-miss show for all things high school football. We'll break down team news, the latest standings, and what to expect on the road to Canton. High School Blitz Preview, Wednesday nights at 7 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Every week, from the locker room to the pitch and everywhere in between, Access Crew SC is your ultimate inside look at the black and gold. Join Marissa Contepelli, Dwight Burgess, and Neil Sika for unmatched coverage, in-depth analysis, and exclusive talks with the players and coaches. This is your club. This is your Access. Access Crew SC, Wednesdays on Spectrum Sports.
The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education program has been recognizing students and teachers who shine both in and out of the classroom since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com and click on Supporting Education. Students in kindergarten through 12th grade are eligible to be academic all-stars. K through 12 teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible to be honored as the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Have you ever lived for something? Have you ever dreamt of something? Something more? Something special? Something bigger than yourself? Well, have you? This is what you live for!
The home of high school sports. Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
Crew SC Match Day. Every match, 30 minutes before the kick. Delivering everything fans need to know. With live reports, unmatched analysis, club news, and more. After the game, stay here for Crew SC Post-Match. From the biggest moments to the road ahead, Crew SC Match Day and Crew SC Post-Match. Only on Spectrum Sports.
Week 4 of high school football across the state of Ohio is wrapping up. We head back to the phones to check in with Bill Mayville. He's watching the Padua Bruins and the Warrensville Heights Tigers, and it was an offensive juggernaut. Bill, what ended up happening with this one?
Well, after 3 hours and 90 points and a whole lot of offensive fireworks, Padua ended up knocking off Warrensville Heights 56-34. We talked about it earlier in the night. Really, Padua's offense was able to do pretty much whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. Warrensville got a little bit of momentum going in the second half with some of their offensive skill players, but just not enough to catch up with the lead that Padua had built.
How impressed were you with the Bruins, Bill?
On offense, they looked fantastic. I mean, one of the things that I talked with the coach about after the game was their ability to mix up their play calling, their ability to run when teams were expecting pass, and then vice versa, and they were able to mix it up and force the guys to defend everything. They can't just sell out to beat the run or sell out to take away the pass. So it was really, overall, it was really interesting to watch the Bruin offense roll through pretty much every possession. And honestly, the only time they really stumbled was when they made mistakes that pushed them back out of range or took a penalty or something like that.
All right, Bill Mayville, we appreciate it. 53 points on the board for the Padua Bruins in their win over Warrensville Heights. A very long game because of how many points they scored. So we'll let Bill Mayville catch his breath a little bit and post that on cleveland.com if you want to get more from that. Well, week 4, it's what everybody's been waiting for, the top plays. Remember, you can vote on these. We'll give them to you in the order we think about it. And, guys, this one's pretty interesting. Our top 15 of the week. Let's take a look at number 15 as it's Beaver Creek. And it's Caden Wanger. Through the hole. Caden Wanger. Look at this guy
That
run.
guy's got some flow, too. Look at that
80
back
yards for the touchdown. He had over 300 yards rushing on the game. More on this game a little bit later.
Number 14, Jeff Parker of Barberton, the 6-yard touchdown run. Little cutback there. Magic's roll over Revere, 52-6.
Now, we had a much closer finish at number 13. Check out Brecksville-Broadview Heights' Joe Lambus to Sam Wiglis for a 23-yard touchdown catch there. Bam! Right there in the end zone. Bees will fall to Hudson, 23-20.
Number 12, Massillon Jackson, Jared Pilata. Take a look. Oh, and he gets his foot in. Brandon O'Quinn. More from this game in just a few minutes. Good catch by Quinn.
Number 11, Butler's Mason Motter to Dayton Sharp. It's a 9-yard touchdown pass. We'll have more from this game coming up later. Look at that. Great grab. Had to go up high. Nicely done.
And at number 10, Wayne's Rashad McKee to Stephen Victoria for a 56-yard touchdown pass. Look at him go.
Oh, you got to give a key to that block that sprung him, though.
Stiff arm. We've seen a lot of stiff arms.
Warriors won 56-28.
Number 9, I told you we'd see more. Massillon Jackson's Jared Pilata. Up top, Brandon O'Quinn grabs it for the big play, takes it to the 1-yard line. Jackson, take a look, runs all the way across the field, only to get tackled at the 1-yard line. Jackson won by 31.
That was one of my nominees. So is number 8. It's Twinsburg. Isaiah Savitt. Intercepted. He takes it all the way down to the 5-yard line as Twinsburg playing really, I mean, look at this. Twinsburg playing really well.
He's a linebacker. He showed some defensive back skills.
Yes, he did. Tried to plow his way into the end zone there. Nicely done, Mr. Savitt.
And at number 7, Beaver Creek's Drew Nanda scores this game-winning touchdown in double overtime. Squeaks in there. Beavers win 41-35 over Lebanon.
Bedford put up some big numbers. Take a look at this. Number 6, Emmanuel Jenkins up top. Davion Johnson. Good catch, keeps his feet. Regains his balance. 79 yards for the touchdown. Bearcats win 52-21 over Copley.
Avon put up a bunch of points. Number 5, Ryan Malloy. He's going to find David Orlando. Whoop! Nice little cutback. 51-14. Avon, 43 yards on this play.
And at number 4, if you want Bo Floyd to pick you up dinner, check him out right here. He can pick it up while he's running all those 72 yards to the end zone.
There's another stiff arm.
Love that. Love it.
And by the way, the Wildcats did win 38-7.
Solon, a little defense. Ryan McCurry. The roll out, and he jumps the route. McCurry down the sidelines, back the other way, and he gets into the end zone, a pick 6. Comets win 33-6 over Elyria.
Let's talk special teams. Number 2, it's Lebanon's Jake Tewart. He's going to go 93 yards on this kick return. The Lebanon would come up short. The game went into double overtime. Beaver Creek the winner by 6. Still, our number 2 play gets the sideline, stays on his feet, and dives in the end zone.
I think he was out of bounds, but I don't want to take away the top play.
And blow the horns for number 1, Bedford's Emmanuel Jenkins to D'Angelo Howard for the 68-yard touchdown. He's still going. Bedford wins by 31.
All right, so tell them how they vote on this and what will happen and how we will get this done is we'll show you who's number 1 next week, and we'll tell you the percentage of vote.
All right, so what you can do is you can go to cleveland.com on Saturday, and you can vote for your top play. Voting ends on Thursday the following week, and you'll get to see which one came out with number 1. So, again, just go to cleveland.com on Saturday. Make sure you put in your vote. Tell your friends, tell your family members, and maybe tell your teammates as well. I'm sure they'd love to vote for you. And then the votes will end Thursday.
Well, you know, the other thing is you can vote as often as you like. Vote early, vote often. It's like a Florida old-time election. Just keep voting.
Just keep going to the ballots.
That's right. Well, Matt Gould saw the Bedford Bearcats put up an impressive display against Copley, And Matt has some post-game from the Bedford after that win over the Copley Indians. Take it away, Matt.
What got into you guys tonight?
I don't know, man. They were just playing us. They was just playing in the middle. If they go far, we gonna go short. They play up, we gonna run past them. So they gotta pick their poison. They either gonna press us and we go right past them, or they gonna play off and we just catch it short. And you see, we can take a 5-yard pass to an 80-yard pass. So
you've had some big games, but 300 yards, does that sound like a career high?
It sounds like a career high. I'm like very excited though. I'm excited.
What were you seeing out there?
I don't know. I was just trying to play as a team player. You know what I'm saying? Like when my other guys get touchdowns, I'm just happy for them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm gonna get my shot, so I'm not really worried about that.
Tell me about you and D'Angelo. I mean, you two, how long have you been coming up? I think I asked you in the preseason about this, if you wouldn't mind hitting on it again.
We've been coming up for a long time, and he's been my best friend since middle school. He's not even my best friend, it's my brother. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother.
Him to step into a different role, carrying the ball a little bit more tonight, no surprise for you? I mean, what do you think went into what he was able to do tonight?
Man, there's no surprise. He do it in practice all the time. He just don't got to do it in the game because Kenny do it in the game. But see how Kenny went down? He just stepped up. You know what I'm saying? We didn't miss a beat.
And a different running back, because Kenny's like, you know, almost as big as Manuel, at least bigger, like wider. But I mean, it's a different look.
Definitely, we ain't missing beat. We ain't missing beat at all.
What do you attribute the difference from playing Copley last few years to now?
Well, it's basically history for us because we ain't beat Copley yet. So you know what I'm saying? It's really nothing for real. We finally got the dub against them because we never beat them.
You're without Kenny Wilkins today.
Yes.
It looked like that was an opportunity for D'Angelo Howard to showcase his skill set as a running back. He hasn't played too much, but he does so much for you.
Right.
Tell me about him stepping into that role tonight.
D'Angelo Howard has been a great player for us for 3-4 years. He's been a running back, punt returner, receiver. Kenny being out allowed him to showcase his talent and for other guys to step up. We've been doing this, saying this for the whole time. It's too much talent to worry about one missing. You know, no disrespect to nobody, but injuries happen in the game, and we preach you're one play away from being the next success story. You're one play away. So all week, he's been working. All year, he's been working. He's the kid that's have to practice dragging the tire. He's the kid that's here every day, running extra gas change. And not once a week, not just this week. This has been every day for 3.5, 4 years. So this opportunity for him is a result of all the hard work he's been putting in throughout the years, and a great opportunity for him to show his true ability.
This has been a mid-season non-conference matchup for you guys a couple of years.
Yes.
And you've struggled with them the last two.
Yes.
What's the difference?
The speed and the cohesiveness of this unit. The ability to play for each other and push everything else to side and to truly work. The work that they put in the off-season is amazing. I mean, the commitment to morning workouts. We had Tyvis Powell at morning workouts from January all the way through. So you had every kid there in the gym working, and that's all this is. These kids have been playing together in this community since first, second grade.
Well, it's easy to see why kids like playing for Sean Williams. A little bit of intensity there, just a tad. Translated on the field as Bedford, a big win over Copley, and you heard from players something they've been looking for and working for. They finally get it. Well, our Ryan Isley covered the Massillon-Jackson game, and he has some post-game from the quarterback who did really well for the Jackson Polar Bears. Take it away, Ryan.
Jarrett, you guys took the opening kickoff, marched right down the field on Perry, and scored a touchdown. Yes, how important was that mentally for you guys to get an early lead on them?
We knew because we came out last week and got down 19-0, so we knew we had to come out and hit them in the mouth right away. And once we got that first touchdown, we knew we could roll, and we knew that our game plan was sound and that we didn't think they could stop them. So our momentum carried in that whole first half, and eventually they could. So it's good.
Your defense got you the ball right back, and you again went right down and scored again, and that's when you started hitting Brandon. You hit 2 straight touchdowns to Brandon. Talk about that connection tonight.
Yeah, like I was saying, Brandon's pretty fast if you saw him on the field today. But we knew we could exploit them, with the quick game, and I just want to get out to Brandon with his speed on the outside. But then, right when they're jumping up, we tagged the post behind him. He ran right past the safety. We hit him in stride, and it was great.
In the first half, the only time you guys didn't score was that final possession right before halftime. What was the mood like in the halftime locker room?
Oh, it would have been different if our defense, off a turnover, gave up a score at the end, but they didn't. They stuck strong and they got us momentum back into the halftime locker room. Now, if they score and go 31-14 there with their ball, they could have some momentum. But our defense shut them down. They did a great job.
What was the mindset going into that final scoring drive? You guys got the ball back about 11 or so minutes, and instead of trying to score quick, you just kind of chewed the clock up. Was that the game plan going in?
Yeah, it was the game plan. We wanted to get a methodical drive going, get some time on, but we needed to score. Even though they were still at 7, we still needed to score because we had to score in the second half. We got Jake Ryan made a great play on a hitch.
And I heard you talk about all the hitches that you threw. Yeah. What did you see in the defense that allowed you to make all those completions tonight?
When we go doubles, they played quarters, everyone at 8 yards. And they do what they do. And when we went trio, they played match, and the backside was 10 yards off. So we just threw hitch after hitch after hitch, and it worked out pretty well.
Are you surprised they didn't adjust to that later in the game?
Honestly, Perry does what they do, and they've been really good at it. So I wasn't really surprised they didn't adjust.
Well, Jared shows he has a future as an analyst for football. Brandon's fast. That's the type of things we see from our analysts there.
It's fast. No adjustments coming from Perry. That was really the big takeaway is kids still play leapfrog. Apparently.
Behind, yeah, that's pretty good. Well, you have to be impressed. Just a big showing for Jackson without question. And, Pilata had a huge game, 4 touchdown passes in that 31-7 win. So.
Yeah, and a couple of points that I was talking about earlier about the Jackson offense. Jared came in with over 800 yards coming in tonight. I think he's well on his way by the end of the year, hitting 2,000. And then also the defense. I felt like, Perry was a good test considering the type of offense that they run, that they showed off their discipline. So Jackson has quite a bit of tools to be able to, on offense as well as the defense, go far the rest of the regular season here.
Let's take a look at some scores from Week 4. As Week 4 coming to a close, still some games Saturday, but Menor improves to 3-1, 42-27. They defeat the Strongsville Mustangs. Hudson hangs on. That was a pretty good showing by Brecksville on the road against the Hudson Explorers.
Yeah, good win for Hudson too.
You look over at Bedford, they put 52 on the board, and they beat Copley. We heard from Davion Johnson just how important that win was to the Bearcats. Barberton, 52-6. Padua, 56. Look at all these 50s. Good Lord. 57-29. Wadsworth won. So congratulations to Coach Todd. His Grizzlies now 4-0 on the year. As well. Solon, an impressive win as they scored late. Bay shut out Parma. Euclid, Euclid wins. You look at Olentangy Liberty, 17-10. They beat Hilliard-Davidson. Look at Coleraine, 42-0 on previously unbeaten Sycamore. Wow. Twinsburg gets the win, so 3-1. Tigers looking every bit the playoff team. You see Wayne improves to 3-1 as well. St. Ignatius. No problem at all, 38-7. They defeat Detroit Catholic Central in that game as well. So we've still got a few minutes to talk about this. What's biggest takeaway? What's the thing that impressed you the most? Start with you, Dan.
I think Bedford. That's a really good team, and obviously we're watching from here in the studio. We're seeing these interviews on camera, but. Don't you just get the sense that that's a team that feels like they have something special, and that's a team that believes in themselves, and you hear Coach Sean Williams talking about guys stepping up, talking about guys being, one play away from being the next great story, and, it really seems from where we're sitting, like Bedford is buying into whatever Coach Williams has going there right now this year. It seems like they're really buying into that.
Nate?
My takeaway has to be from the Bruins and Tigers game in that 56-34 game. Warrensville Heights, obviously in the first few weeks, we saw them put up a lot of points, but that's something that obviously they're going to need come Division 4 is to be able to put some points on the board. But now this defense, that's something that they're going to have to try to fix, as soon as possible. So same thing with the Bruins as well. You don't allow a team to be able to score that many points against you, but obviously the offense is going to be able to just say, hey, look, we'll put up enough points on the board, kind of put some distance between our opponents. But no, that's something I think for both teams. I think that's something they need to clean up on defense, find out what exactly dropped the ball there tonight. So.
The thing that strikes me is just the way the Jackson Polar Bears played. Not only, the 4 touchdown passes by Jared Pallotta, you kind of knew he was going to be very good. He's a D1 football quarterback recruit. But the defense that held a pretty tricky wing tee. I know they've seen it. They see it every year. But they stayed disciplined and played assignment football, held Perry to just 7 points. So good things ahead for the Jackson Polar Bears. We're going to take one more time out here on Friday Night Huddle. Krista DeFini, our band correspondent, will take us to break one last time here, week 4 of high school football all across the Buckeye State here on Friday Night Huddle.
At the end of the game, it was Wadsworth 57, Nordonia 29. But this marching band is not done yet. They're performing their competition show for all the fans that stayed after. Let's take a look.
Lives here. We are Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
Wednesday nights, get ready for kickoff with Spectrum Sports. High School Blitz Preview, the can't-miss show for all things high school football. We'll break down team news, the latest standings, and what to expect on the road to Canton. High School Blitz Preview, Wednesday nights at 7 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education program has been recognizing students and teachers who shine both in and out of the classroom since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com and click on Supporting Education. Students in kindergarten through 12th grade are eligible to be academic all-stars. K through 12 teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible to be honored as the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Have you ever lived for something? Have you ever dreamt of something? Something more? Something special? Something bigger than yourself? Well, have you? This is what you live for!
Home of high school sports, Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
Welcome back to Friday Night Huddle as we wrap up week 4. It means we're almost at the halfway point of the regular season already, along with Dan Labbe from cleveland.com, Nate Cline from cleveland.com. I'm Dave Bacon. Guys, let's take a look at what is ahead in week 5, which is the halfway point of the regular season. Thursday night on Spectrum Sports, you can catch this game live. Ron Kavanaugh and I will have the call. Elyria Catholic and Valley Forge. Then we get into some really interesting matchups. Midview and Avon.
That is always a fun game. Block out about 4 hours for that one, but it is always a fun game.
They're going to throw the ball. They're going to score a lot. You know, Bill Mayville said it was about 3 hours and 10 minutes. That might be a 4-hour game.
Pack a lunch.
But you know what? It'll be a really interesting game as well. Both teams coming in, playing well. Both teams' offenses playing well. Both quarterbacks, more importantly, playing well.
It's what you want. I mean, it's a rivalry game. It's everything. I've never watched one of those games and been disappointed by it.
Hoover and McKinley. McKinley looks really strong. Hoover was trying to rebound tonight after a tough loss to Akron East a week ago. I have a feeling this game's going to be really good. St. Vincent, St. Mary, and Hoban. St. Vincent St. Mary has a couple of skill position guys in Luke Lindsay, Terrence Keys. Their quarterback, their featured back are both sophomores. Hoban starts a freshman quarterback, Shane Ham. So these are guys that we're going to be seeing for a couple of years, and then you also see St. Xavier and Moeller as well.
It's a great rivalry games next week. This week was sort of the, okay, let's get into conference play week, and we saw some of the blowouts, but there are some fantastic rivalry games coming next week.
I think you also can't get away from the St. Vincent St. Mary and Archbishop Hoban matchup. You feel like in the last few years, Hoban has been kind of distancing themselves from the Fighting Irish. But obviously, I mean, there's a lot of people that's going to be going out to this game. There's a lot of ties on both sides, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And also, I'll just share with the viewers, I made the mistake in actually going to a Hoban camp with Fighting Irish colors, and that didn't go well with a couple of coaching staff. But eventually, they found out who exactly I was, and they were like, "Okay, all right, we'll talk with you." So,
yeah, live and learn.
They're a little. They take that game a little seriously, no question. And along those lines, you can be sure St. Vincent St. Mary. This one means a little bit more because Hoban has gotten the better of them the last couple of years. There's no harm in that. Hoban's won state championships the last couple of years as well, but you can be sure this one's been one they're kind of pointing at and they're looking at.
They don't love watching Hoban win state titles.
No, they don't like that.
They want to be one of those numbers in the loss column. If Hoban's going to get a title, they've also got to deal with it. But you lost to St. Vincent St. Mary.
Yeah, but no, it's going to be that's just going to make for one game is going to make for a really interesting Week 5 coming up. But yeah, just turn back to what you said earlier about that Avon and Midview matchup. Avon won the conference last year, the Southwestern Conference. Yeah. So Midview is going to be coming after that because they were, it was only about a year or two ago that they were holding the title as well. So definitely that's going to be another great matchup, but I think it's just going to be, a lot of games to pick from for our reporters next week. So
it'll be interesting to see. It'll be a fun midway point of the regular season, Week 5, all across where did the season go? We're already talking about the midway point of the regular season. And again, Hoban, St. Vincent, St. Mary, Midview, Avon, St. Xavier, and Moeller. We will talk about it all right here on Friday Night Huddle next week. Make sure you join us Friday night at 7 for Nate Cline, Dan Labbe from cleveland.com. I'm Dave Bacon. We'll see you again next Friday night right here on Friday Night Huddle.
The High School Sports Insider is brought to you by Cuyahoga Community College, where futures begin. By the Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine. By Spectrum Sports. By Dominion East Ohio. Dominion, it all starts here. And by Classic Teleproductions.
Labor Day is come and gone. All the fall sports are in mid-season form, and we're ready to bring you another year of the best high school sports stories from all across Ohio. Thanks for joining us for another year of the High School Sports Insider, along with Bill Castrovince. I'm Dave Bacon.
It's great to be back honoring our high school heroes. Today we'll hit the pitch and the volleyball court and meet two teams who are off to fast starts. Plus, we have another athlete who's on his way to the NFL and another Insider Classic who's already there.
We begin tonight by huddling up with one of the fast-rising football programs in the state. A year ago, Akron East made history when they qualified for the state football playoffs for the first time ever, and they won a first-round playoff game. The Dragons also won the Akron City Series championship for the first time in 41 years. East is off to another good start and working hard to earn yet another playoff berth. We have an all-access look at the East High football Dragons.
They've been calling me. They say, man, that video been going viral of us out there, man. They say, man, them boys look hungry. And that's exactly what I need them to know. When I first took over the program, me and my staff, we had 28 people on the team. Out of those 28 people, you had 16 guys who were freshmen. Half of them didn't play football before, so we took our lumps that first year. We didn't win a single game. Hit! All right, fall out, fall out, fall out, fall out. Next up, next up. So to go from not winning a single game the first year to 4 years later, you're in the playoffs. You're facing off with the #1 team in the region, an undefeated 10-0 team, and you're able to go down there and have the confidence and the wherewithal to beat that team. I think it speaks volumes for the young men that we have in our program. Not dominoes. I want it in sequence, all at one time. Hit! It was monumental for the school, for one, because a lot of things that happened last year was the first time that it's ever happened before. So it was the first time that East High School has ever made the playoffs. It was the first time in 41 years that we've won a city championship, so it was electric in the school. I saw teachers high-fiving each other. Our players was at an all-time high because they know when they walk through our locker room, we have a sign on top of the door that said, "Those who stay will be champions." It's full go today, but we're not hitting, we're not down on nobody's knees at all, okay? That's our foundation. We call those guys our foundational bricks right there. We've been building this wall, and it started with that team. And everything that comes after that is we're putting another layer on that wall. But we'll never forget that foundation that was built off of that 0-10 season. They want to point the target at us. Man, we're not going to be anybody's sitting target, am I right? It's probably hard to believe, but after we went 0-10 and had 28 guys on the team, we added 25 guys to the team the next year and ended up having 53 guys on the team, I want to say. And people were like, well, how did you guys add 25 guys to a team that didn't win a game? Well, I think they started believing into the vision. Never give up attitude. Never give up attitude. So we're going to get after it today, man. Then I got a challenge for y'all, too. The inner city football is the only thing I've known all my life. I played inner city football myself, so while I'm here, it's like I'm home. And I see these kids and I see some of the struggles that some of them might have, some of the same struggles that I had. And I'm trying to let them know that, hey, Coach made it out, just like a lot of the coaches on my staff did it, and we're going to have a great time doing it. And they believe that. And over the years since I've been here, they've seen some of their teammates and peers make it. So what we'll do, we're going to flip the script on you. We're going to point the target back at you, and we're going to let you know that, hey, East Dragons is coming for you. Sure. Period. That's it. And, hey, this never give up attitude.
Our next story is about one of the best football players in the country who didn't even play football 2 years ago. Tyreek Smith didn't play the sport as a freshman or a sophomore. Now, the Cleveland Heights senior is being recruited by every major college program. And you can even see the NFL on his horizon. Here's the story of Tyreek Smith, our Cuyahoga Community College student athlete with a future. Cuyahoga Community College, where futures begin. Tyreek Smith made his high school football debut 1 year ago. A freak athlete at 6'4", 250 pounds, he got 13 college offers before his first practice.
I go to a camp and I get like 4 offers that night, or I'd be in school 1 week and I get like 6 offers the whole week. So I mean, it was crazy. I remain humble, remain blessing. It was a blessing.
By the end of his junior year, the dominant defensive end had 40 offers, even though he missed most of the season with a broken leg. Now a senior, Tyreek's top 5 schools are Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, USC, and Penn State. Yet, Smith plays like he still has something to prove.
He's nowhere where he's going to be by the end of the season, but that's the thing that I love best about him, is that he just practices hard 100% of the time.
I don't think it's tough. My parents, they raised me, I mean, like, to always just be humble. They don't let none of this faze me. I'm still the same kid when I had 0 offers.
We will see more of Smith on offense this year, catching passes at tight end. But we won't hear about his college decision until January, so his Cleveland Heights teammates will get some exposure too.
Whenever I can give him a chance, like whether it's hitting up a coach about him, sending him the film, having them come out and watch everybody, I just do what I can to help them get recruited.
Tyreek has always been a team-first guy, and that extends to the basketball court too. Yet, he's smart enough to know that there's more to life than sports. Tyreek is almost a straight-A student with a 3.9 GPA in honors classes.
The average NFL player plays 3 years. You only got 4 years of college, and then you got the rest of your life to think about what you're going to do. So I definitely focus on grades.
Wherever he ends up, Tyreek Smith will be a student-athlete to watch.
You know, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season, but more importantly, I think I'm looking forward to just how his life in general plays out over the next couple of years.
Now, if you notice, Tyreek is wearing an Oregon shirt the day we talked to him. Don't read too much into it. He hasn't made his decision yet.
We're just getting things rolling on this week's show. We'll check in on a Warrior on the pitch who's ready to lead. And remember the Titans? You better. This group has playmakers all over the field. The High School Sports Insider will be right back.
The best thing Tri-C did for me was give me opportunities. The workforce program prepared me for the career I have now. I got a job in the aerospace industry where I work on CNC machines. I have 3 younger brothers. I want to teach my brothers, you know, hard work actually pays off. Come to Tri-C. It's a great stepping stone to wherever you're trying to get to in life. My name is Chris Grooms, and I got my start at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education program has been recognizing students and teachers who shine both in and out of the classroom since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to auth-ctoke-auth and click on Supporting Education. Students in kindergarten through 12th grade are eligible to be academic all-stars. K through 12 teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible to be honored as the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education, where stars shine.
The High School Sports Insider rolls along. Thanks for riding shotgun with us. Lorain lost their first 2 football games a year ago, then won their next 8 and made it all the way to the regional finals. After a tough loss to start this season, the Titans didn't panic. They've rebounded quite nicely thanks to a blend of some experienced players and some talented young sophomores. We salute the Lorain Titans, our team of the week. Some of the names may have changed for the Lorain Titans, but the big plays have not. After last year's historic run, a new group of playmakers is ready for their time under the lights.
We're going to have a lot of speed. We got a couple younger guys, so the speed definitely, we got a lot of speed. That's why we try to keep it up tempo, energy, and so we can play fast, fly to the ball, and just give relentless effort.
Makes us want to go fast, you know, and get our blocks right so their talents don't go to waste due to an injury. So, you know, anytime that we do something wrong, it, you know, reflects in the skill position guys. If they get injured, our fault. If they can't make a run because we missed a block, it's our fault. So we got to just make sure we do everything right.
Quarterback Justin Sturgill is running the show again for the Titans. He came in after an injury early last season and saved the year. He's the guy that orchestrates all of the Titans' playmakers.
It can be stressful at times, but another times, I mean, it's just like the best thing because they show you what you can call, and if it's working, it's going to work. And if it's not going to work, change to something else. You know something's going to work, and they're going to make a mistake.
If you were out in a playground picking players, you're not necessarily picking him right away. His arm's not maybe as strong as this guy or that guy, but he's savvy, he's smart, he's really a coach on the field for us. And between his athletic ability and his brain, he's a great quarterback.
Favorite part of this offense? What do you like best about playing quarterback in this offense?
Seeing all my guys happy. When they do things right and they make great plays, I mean, seeing them smile makes sure they want to do it again and they want to keep doing it without stopping, no hesitation. I just love seeing them happy and excited.
This is Dave McFarland's 4th season as head coach at Lorain. When he took over, the program had no freshman team. The numbers are up, and he knew this year's group was something special.
They're fun to coach. You know, when you've done it so long, it just keeps coming. And what we say to our kids is, fortunately, because I coach, I have another year and another year and another year. You got one. You got one senior year, and our kids are embracing that and they're practicing hard. So it's going to be fun to see how this season turns out.
By Justin Sturgill through double coverage. Let's head to the pitch for the other football. The girls of Walsh Jesuit have set the standard on the soccer field, winning the last 5 titles in a row. The last one coming courtesy of a boot by Aubrey Bechter. Now back for her senior season, Bechter has a tough task of trying to keep the streak alive. Let's meet Aubrey Bechter, our Spectrum Sports game breaker. A soccer dynasty was on the ropes. Walsh was going for its 5th straight state title last year, and it was scoreless at the half.
Like all during halftime, Dino just kept saying like, we need to get on the end of these crosses.
Someone had to step up, and that someone was Aubrey Bechter. In the front, shot it's in!
Just remember Maddie Schneeberry crossing it, and I was able to get on the end of it. Having that goal, like, it's just like everything was like a relief, and like we knew we were up and we just had to keep going.
The junior midfielder scored what turned out to be the game-winning goal in the 2016 state championship.
When the game ended and you thought about it, you were very happy for her that, you know, she got what she deserved, really, because good things happen to good kids, and she's better than a good kid.
Walsh has won 5 in a row and 10 overall, and Bechter has played some major minutes for the program since she was a freshman, thanks to her teammates.
Playing as a freshman, I wasn't like, oh gosh, like they all made me feel really good, and I felt like one of them.
Aubrey is now paying it forward since she is a senior leader this season.
Everything is about her teammates. She'll, you know, she's got your back, you know what I mean? And people figure that out. That's the key. The girls on her team figure that she has their back.
Bechter has also competed at the highest levels in club soccer, finishing 3rd in the nation last year.
You have to come in like strong and like knowing that every girl is here to win.
Her next stop will be Cleveland State, where Aubrey Bechter will play soccer on scholarship, but not before she helps Walsh go for 6 in a row.
I mean, watching the captains, like when I was a freshman, sophomore, and junior, like it just looked like such a big role, and I knew like this is what I have to do.
If you missed some of today's show or want to see past episodes, they're online and free. What a deal, I know. Head to citybeat-tv.com. That's citybeat-tv.com.
Still to come, we'll hit the court for a shining star who shines in the classroom. And our Insider Classic is a new star in the NFL. Stay tuned.
There is a place where dreams arise. Stars are born. And greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
The High School Sports Insider continues with our brightest part of the show, our shining star. And once again, we have the Ohio Lottery to provide the spotlight. Today we honor Shannon Williams for her work in the volleyball court and in the classroom. And the Brecksville senior has a brilliant smile too. Shannon Williams, this week's Ohio Lottery Partners in Education Shining Star. On the court, Shannon Williams makes an offense go. Off the court, she makes everyone smile.
I like to be the clown, I like to joke around, I like to make people smile, and I think that's pretty special. It's probably one of my favorite parts about being, team leaders, because I can keep everyone happy and will try my best.
Williams has been the starting setter for Brecksville since she was 14 years old. And in her sophomore year, she gave a verbal commitment to Cincinnati. Last season, as a junior, Shannon racked up over 1,100 assists, 50 of them coming in the state championship match, as the Bees won their first state title, capping off a 28-1 season.
Last year, we went 3-0 every match in conference, and that's unheard of. No one's really done that before, so I feel like we had a target on our back the whole time. Everyone every night wanted to take a set from us, and we just weren't having it.
Shannon has been named the team MVP 3 years in a row so far, and she was chosen as the Gatorade Ohio Player of the Year in January.
I get to school and I'm sitting in Chinese class and I get an email from Gatorade and I'm like, oh my gosh, I won. I was like, this is no way that I won. I really did not believe, I did not think I was gonna win.
The Gatorade bottles and energy bars have been coming in the mail since then. Williams won the award for another reason, a 3.6 GPA in some challenging classes, like Chinese.
She understands the game at a high level. I think, being that smart helps because she has to do a lot of the thinking on the fly and a lot of quick decision making, and it's just never been an issue.
She certainly has a lot of achievements, but Shannon Williams isn't done yet.
Every day I come into the gym, I want to do something special. I want to be someone special, and I'm really just an ordinary kid. I just want to do extraordinary things.
Good luck to Shannon in the land of the Bearcats. If you know a student who shines in the classroom, you should send in a nomination. It's easy. Just go to OhioLottery.com. At the top of the page, find the tab that's marked Supporting Education, and that's where you'll find all the info.
Each week we take a look back at one of the athletes we featured on the show who's gone on to success at the college, professional, sometimes even international levels. Kareem Hunt had a great career at the University of Toledo. He was taken in the 3rd round of the NFL draft by the Kansas City Chiefs, where he had a historic NFL debut, helping the Chiefs beat the New England Patriots. No huge surprise to those of us who saw Hunt run through defenses for a few years over at Willoughby South. This week, Kareem Hunt becomes a classic. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighs 208 pounds. Willoughby South's Kareem Hunt makes running with the football look effortless.
He's a big kid. He's a lot more physical than I think people realize until they get a chance to look at him and watch him run.
For the 2nd consecutive year, Hunt is approaching 2,500 yards rushing and is closing in on 40 touchdowns. Video game-like stats. Like any good running back, Hunt knows he needs help to run the football.
My line's just getting better every week, I think. Those guys want to get as much yards as I want to get. I mean, you can't have a good offense if you don't have a good offensive line.
Hunt is one of those combination backs who runs very effectively between the tackles with power. Then, when he hits the open field, finds another gear.
I like running people over. I like running past people. I like juking people out. I like doing about everything. I mean, it's just I see a lot of guys like Barry Sanders highlight tape and Earl Campbell, and those guys did a lot of those things too.
He is a kid that gets better. As the game progresses, he battles. He's that lay around and looks like he can't get up, and and he gets back in the huddle and he lines up, and there he goes again. So he's a guy we have to count on. Our guys up front are blocking for him, and he's a guy that if they do their job up front, he can make you pay in a hurry.
His patience as a runner is one thing that stands out. It allows Hunt to maximize his speed and power.
I read all my offensive linemen's butts and see how they got their guys turned and the way the defense is flowing and all that. And then it just helps a lot when you see big holes too.
Humble as they get, kid's always got a smile on his face, and he's got a great sense of humor. He's a fun kid to be around, and he's a real likable kid. We love him. Just a good kid.
With the kind of numbers he is putting up, Hunt has put himself right into the middle of the conversation for Mr. Football this year. About the only knock people can come up with is the competition that Kareem is running against.
It motivates our whole team. People think we can't run the ball against very good teams, but I think that's nonsense, and I think we can run against anyone. Our guys are they have heart, and I mean, if those guys got heart, I'm gonna run with heart too.
Hunt has a number of scholarship offers from Mid-American Conference, Big Ten, and Big East schools. That number is likely to grow even larger as Kareem continues to pile up the yardage. We want you to get more involved in the show, and you can through social media. Follow us on Twitter. We're at HS Sports Insider and at Dave Bacon Sports. Tweet us your story ideas or your pictures showing your school spirit. We'll use them in a future show. We are still plugging away on Facebook as well. Head to our page and like us. We're at High School Sports Insider.
But stick around. The tweets of the week are coming up next.
The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education program has been recognizing students and teachers who shine both in and out of the classroom since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com and click on Supporting Education. Students in kindergarten through 12th grade are eligible to be academic all-stars. K through 12 teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible to be honored as the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery's Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I decided to go to Tri-C because it was easy to commute to. I was able to start Kent State as a junior. All my credits from Tri-C transferred to Kent State. I will be able to earn my bachelor's degree in 4 years. I saved a lot of money starting at Tri-C. My name is Stephanie Bain and I earned my first degree at Cuyahoga Community College.
The old saying is time flies when you're having fun, and we're almost all out of time on this week's show, but we always have time for you and to find out what's on your mind. A few rules: you have to use 140 characters or less. Better yet, just send us a picture. Time for the tweets of the week. Good things going on over at Padua, both on the field and in the stands. The student section raised more than $1,200 for hurricane relief for those affected by Harvey and Irma. Well done, Bruins. Over at Jackson High School, they're celebrating on the court. Head volleyball coach Jeffrey Walk won his 500th game recently coaching the Polar Bears. And Canton McKinley not only getting it done on the field on Friday nights, the players helping out at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Playmakers Camp for special needs kids. Way to go, pups. Keep those tweets coming. We want your story ideas or your pictures showing your school spirit. Tweet those to us. We're at HS Sports Insider or at Dave Bacon Sports. Use hashtag HSSI Ohio. Again, that's at HS Sports Insider or at Dave Bacon Sports. Use hashtag HSSI Ohio, and we'll use a few of them on upcoming shows as the tweets of the week. Now we are all out of time on this week's show. Thanks for taking your time to join us. We expect to see you back here next week, same time, same place, when again we'll spotlight some of the best high school sports stories from all across Ohio.
As always, thanks for watching and thank you for supporting high school athletics. Have a great night.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.